Stop everything for just one moment and pay attention. Before we begin, I want you to pause and ask yourself, which country are you watching this from, and what time is it right now where you are? Take a second to think about it. Yes, right now, wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon, or late at night, God is speaking to you through this message, because what I'm about to say could change the way you see your life forever. Right now, something in your life feels unbearable. Something was taken from you, a comfort, a person, a dream, a plan you thought you could never live without. And you're asking yourself, why me? Why now? What did I do wrong? But here's the truth. What you feel like losing might actually be the greatest gift you've ever received. What feels like the end might actually be the beginning of a life you cannot even imagine yet. And here's why you need to stay with me for the next hour. I will reveal the hidden wisdom behind every heartbreak, every closed door, and every disappointment you're facing right now. I will show you exactly why God removed what you thought you couldn't live without, and how it is protecting your future, shaping your heart, and preparing you for something far greater than you can imagine. By the end of this video, you will see every loss differently. You will understand why every delay, every struggle, and every empty space in your life is actually a sign of divine wisdom. So, wherever you are, at this exact moment, whether it's early morning in your city or late at night, I want you to keep this question in your heart. Am I ready to see why what I thought I lost could actually save my life and my future? If your answer is yes, then stay with me, because what comes next could change everything. God removes comfort to protect you from a future harm you cannot see. Sometimes in life, something you love is taken away from you, a person, a job, an opportunity, a place, or even a plan you were sure about. And in that moment, it feels painful. It feels unfair. You ask yourself, why did this happen to me? What did I do wrong? But what you don't realize is that God sees every danger that you cannot see. There are problems coming your way that you have no idea about. There are heartbreaks hidden behind people you trust. There are losses waiting in paths you are planning to walk. There are consequences that look small now but would have broken you later. You see life one step at a time, but God sees the whole picture. So when something is removed from your life, you only see the loss, but God sees the harm it would have caused. You cry for what you lost, not knowing it would have hurt you far more if it had stayed. You feel sad about the door that closed, not knowing that behind that door was difficulty, stress, pain, and delays you were not built for. Think of a child crying because a parent took a knife away from their hand. To the child, the knife looks shiny and fun, but the parent sees the danger. That's how God protects you. He doesn't just give, sometimes He takes. And when He takes, it is never to punish you. It is to protect you from something you were not aware of. Many times, what you call a loss is actually God saving you. Many times, what you call a setback is God moving you away from a disaster you would have walked into blindly. Many times, the thing that breaks your heart is the very thing that saves your soul. If you could see the future the way God sees it, if you could see the hurt waiting behind that wrong relationship, if you could see the regret waiting behind that job you wanted so badly, if you could see the stress waiting behind that opportunity you chased, you would thank God for every comfort He removed. His no is not rejection. His taking is not cruelty. His delay is not punishment. It is mercy. It is protection. It is love in a form you don't always recognize. One day, you will look back and say, now I understand why that had to leave. Now I see what God was saving me from. And on that day, your heart will finally realize this truth. Sometimes God removes what you want to protect you from what you cannot see. God removes comfort to redirect you towards something better. There comes a time in life when something that once felt safe, familiar, and comfortable suddenly becomes shaky. A job you thought you would grow in stops giving you peace. A friendship you depended on becomes distant. A routine you enjoyed starts feeling heavy, and you wonder, Why is this happening now? Why is something that used to feel right suddenly falling apart? Sometimes God allows your comfort to fade because He doesn't want you to settle for less than what He created for you. You may think the place you are in right now is the best you can have, but God knows it's only a small part of your journey. He knows your potential. He knows the growth hidden inside you. He knows the blessings waiting for you somewhere else. And He knows that if He doesn't move you, you will stay stuck in a place that cannot hold your future. God sees the path you were meant to walk long before you do. He sees opportunities you haven't discovered. He sees people you haven't met. He sees lessons you haven't learned. But comfort can keep you blind. When life feels too easy, you don't question anything. You don't move. You don't explore. You stay where you are because it feels safe, even if it's not where you're meant to be. That is why God sometimes shakes your life just enough to push you forward. He removes the comfort of a job so you finally aim for something bigger. He removes the comfort of a friendship so you learn to stand on your own. He removes the comfort of a dream so He can replace it with one that fits you better. None of this feels nice while it's happening. It feels like you're losing everything. But in reality, you are being guided. Think of a bird in a nest. The nest is warm, soft, and safe. But one day the mother bird starts making the nest uncomfortable. She removes the feathers and soft leaves. She even nudges the baby bird toward the edge. It seems cruel, but it isn't. She is not pushing the baby away. She is pushing it forward. If the nest stays soft forever, the bird will never learn to fly. In the same way, God doesn't make your life uncomfortable because He wants you to suffer. He does it because He wants you to grow. He wants you to discover something better than what you're holding on to. He wants you to walk into a chapter where you will find the peace, the people, the opportunities, and the blessings that match who you are becoming, not who you used to be. Many times, your biggest blessings are on the other side of discomfort. The change you fear is actually the doorway to the life you prayed for. The shift that confuses you is the path that leads to your next level. The thing that falls apart is the very thing that makes space for something greater. You may not understand the redirection now. You may feel like everything is slipping out of your hands. But one day when you look back, you will realize that God had to remove the old comfort because it was too small for the future He prepared for you. Sometimes the place you are clinging to is not bad, it's just not yours anymore. And the only way God can get you to the place that truly belongs to you is by gently removing the comfort that was keeping you from moving forward. You are not being pushed away. You are being guided towards something better. God removes comfort to purify your heart from unhealthy attachments. There are moments in life when a person, a dream, a routine, or even a feeling becomes so important to you that it starts to sit in a place of your heart that belongs only to God. You don't realize it at first. It happens slowly. You start depending on someone too much. You begin seeking validation from people more than from your Creator. You cling to a certain outcome as if your happiness is impossible without it. You hold on to a habit or a lifestyle so tightly that you cannot imagine life without it. And when something takes that position, God may remove the comfort connected to it, not to punish you, but to purify you. Because nothing should own your heart except the one who created it. Sometimes God takes away comfort to show you that your peace was built on something fragile. He wants you to see that you leaned too heavily on a person, forgetting that people can change. You relied too much on a plan, forgetting that plans can collapse. You tied your happiness to a certain image of success, forgetting that success can disappear overnight. When your heart becomes attached to something more than it should, it starts to limit your growth. It weakens your inner strength. It makes you fear loss, fear change, fear disappointment. And God loves you too much to leave you in a state where something temporary controls your heart. So He gently begins to loosen your grip. Maybe a relationship becomes distant. Maybe a job you love no longer feels peaceful. Maybe a dream that once energized you now feels heavy and confusing. These changes hurt, but they are signs that your heart is being redirected back to the one who never leaves you. Unhealthy attachment often feels like comfort, but it's a comfort that traps you. It makes you dependent instead of free. It makes you anxious instead of calm. It makes you forget that everything you have is a gift, not a guarantee. When God removes that comfort, the first feeling is pain. You feel empty. You feel lost. You feel like your heart has been stretched too far. But slowly, something beautiful happens inside you. You begin to remember where real peace comes from. You start seeing your worth without depending on anyone to confirm it. You learn how to stand again, not because someone held you up, but because God strengthened you. This is purification. It is when your heart stops holding tightly to people and things and starts holding tightly to the one who can never break it. It is when you stop saying, I cannot live without this, and start saying, I can get through anything with God by my side. It is when you stop chasing love, approval, or success, and start trusting that what is meant for you will reach you without destroying your inner peace. You don't lose anything when God purifies your heart. You gain clarity, you gain balance, you gain a deeper connection with Him, you gain freedom from the fear of loss, and most importantly, you gain the ability to love and enjoy the blessings in your life without becoming enslaved by them. Purification isn't easy. It feels like being broken open. But what breaks you is not the loss, it's the removal of the things you held above your spiritual health. And after that breaking, God rebuilds your heart in a way that is stronger, calmer, cleaner, and more attached to Him than ever before. That is why, when He removes a comfort linked to an unhealthy attachment, it is not the end of something good. It is the beginning of who you were always meant to become. God removes comfort to build the strength your future requires. There are seasons in your life when everything suddenly becomes harder than before. Work becomes heavier, relationships require more patience, responsibilities increase, your plans don't unfold the way you want. And you start asking yourself, why is everything piling up on me at the same time? Why does life feel tighter, heavier, and more tiring than before? The truth is that sometimes God removes comfort because He is preparing you for a future that is bigger than your present. Your next chapter needs a stronger version of you, not the version that gets everything easily, but the version that is shaped through pressure, through effort, through endurance. If life always stayed easy, you would never grow. You would stay in the same emotional shape, with the same fears, the same habits, the same limits. Comfort feels nice, but it doesn't build strength. It keeps you soft, dependent, and unprepared for the responsibilities and blessings waiting ahead. Think about a person who wants to lift heavy weights. They cannot start with the heaviest one. They start small, and every time they lift a little more, their muscles tear and rebuild, and this is what makes them stronger. If they never trained, they would collapse under the real weight when the time comes. Your struggles work the same way. Every disappointment you survived stretched you. Every challenge you faced taught you something. Every difficulty you pushed through built a layer of strength inside you. You may not see it now, but these moments are training you for something bigger, something that requires emotional strength, spiritual endurance, and mental maturity. Sometimes God takes you away from comfort because He knows a heavier responsibility is coming and He doesn't want you to break under it. So He prepares you now, at a time when you can learn, grow, and build resilience. He strengthens your patience because the future you asked for will require more of it. He strengthens your trust because the road ahead will have moments of uncertainty. He strengthens your discipline because the next stage cannot be reached with laziness or fear. He strengthens your heart because greater blessings often bring greater tests. You may wonder why a door closed so suddenly, but maybe the next door requires a stronger walk. You may wonder why a person left, but maybe your future requires emotional independence. You may wonder why a dream was delayed, but maybe your character needs time to grow before the dream arrives. You cannot carry the weight of your future with the weakness of your old self. So God trains you, and the training does not come in the form of comfort, it comes in the form of challenge. This challenge is not a punishment, it is preparation. You are being shaped into someone who can lead, someone who can handle blessings without losing balance, someone who can face tests without falling apart, someone who can walk through life with strength instead of fear. And one day, when you look back at the season that felt the hardest, you will realize that it was also the season that built you the most. You will see that the strength you now have, the patience, the wisdom, the self-control, the maturity, came from the very moments you once wanted to escape. God does not remove comfort to break you. He removes it to build you into the person your future needs. You are not getting weaker. You are being trained for something greater than you can imagine. God removes comfort to wake you from stagnation. There are moments in life when everything feels the same. Days pass, but nothing truly moves forward. Your mind stops growing, your heart feels dull, your goals stay dreams instead of becoming actions. And even though nothing is wrong, nothing feels alive either. This is what stagnation looks like: a quiet place where life does not hurt you, but it also doesn't shape you. At first, you may enjoy this comfort. You think, at least I am not struggling, at least things are calm. But slowly, that calmness starts to feel like a trap. You stop challenging yourself. You lose the motivation to improve. You become numb to your own potential. You stay in the same place, even though deep inside you know you were created for more. God sees this long before you do. When He knows you are slowing down in a way that harms your growth, He may remove the comfort that kept you stuck. A job that once felt safe suddenly starts to drain you. A routine that once felt peaceful becomes heavy. A plan you were relying on stops working. Life begins to stir, to shake, to wake you up. Not because God wants to trouble you, but because He loves you enough not to let you waste your life in stillness. Stagnation can be dangerous because nothing seems wrong on the outside. You appear fine, your life appears stable, but your heart is sleeping. You stop striving for excellence. You stop renewing your connection with God. You stop pushing yourself to grow. And this silent comfort slowly steals the person you were supposed to become. So God steps in. He removes the ease that kept you too relaxed. He shakes the ground you've been standing on. He makes the familiar feel uncomfortable, so you begin questioning things again. And questioning is the first step toward growth. When comfort is taken away, you start thinking differently. You take responsibilities you avoided before. You push yourself to try new things. You ask yourself what truly matters. You become more aware of your time, your energy, your purpose. You start seeing how much of your life was being spent without meaning. This is not a punishment, it's awakening. Think of a seed. If it stays in soft soil forever, it will never break open. It will never grow roots. It will never rise toward the sunday. But when the soil presses and tightens around it, when the darkness becomes uncomfortable, that pressure forces the seed to open, and that opening becomes its growth. Your pressure is doing the same for you. It is making you break out of old habits, old thoughts, old limits. It is pushing you to take steps that you were too comfortable to take before. It is reminding you that life is not meant to be lived on the surface. It is meant to be lived with purpose, effort, and movement. The discomfort you feel right now may be the greatest gift you've received in a long time. It is God saying, you have stayed here long enough. It's time to rise. It's time to grow. And even though you may wish for things to go back to how they were, you will one day look back and thank God they didn't. Because without this wake-up call, you would still be stuck in the same place, living below your potential, unaware of the better version of yourself, waiting to be discovered. God removes comfort, not to disturb your life, but to restart your life, to make you alive again, to make you move again, to make you become who you were always meant to be. God removes comfort to bring you back to prayer and deep connection. Sometimes life becomes so comfortable that you forget God. You get used to having things work out, to feeling secure, to being surrounded by what makes you happy. And in that comfort, your heart slowly drifts. You pray because it is routine, not because you feel the need. You remember God when it is convenient, not when you are in need. You think you can handle life on your own, and the connection that once made your heart peaceful begins to fade. God sees this long before you do. He sees that your heart has started to depend more on what you have than on Him. He knows that you have begun leaning on people, situations, and possessions for comfort, instead of seeking the one who never leaves. And because He loves you, He allows life to become uncomfortable. He allows the comforts to disappear so that you are reminded of your true source of strength. When comfort is removed, suddenly you feel the emptiness that you didn't notice before. You feel a longing in your heart. You realize that the safety and ease you were relying on cannot fill the void inside you. And in that moment, you turn back to God in a way you haven't in a long time. Your prayers become alive again. Your heart opens. Your conversations with Him are no longer empty words. They become deep, meaningful, and sincere. This is the mercy of God. Sometimes He does not remove comfort to punish you. He removes it to bring you closer to Him. He removes it so you remember that everything you have is from Him, and nothing can truly satisfy your heart except His presence. When the world becomes less reliable, the heart naturally seeks what is eternal. In that discomfort, you rediscover the beauty of turning to God. You pray with hope, not just obligation. You seek guidance, not just convenience. You open your heart, not just your lips. And slowly, through this return, your faith becomes stronger, your heart becomes calmer, and your life begins to feel meaningful again. The discomfort may feel painful at first. You may wish things would go back to the way they were, but what God is doing is far more precious than what you lost. He is showing you that the real comfort, the comfort that nothing can take away, comes from Him alone. One day when you look back at this season, you will see that the difficulties, the losses, the changes were not to harm you. They were a reminder, a wake-up call, and a guide. God removed what distracted you so that you could return to the one who never leaves, never fails, and never abandons you. And in that return, you find a depth of peace that no worldly comfort could ever give. God removes comfort to transition you into a new season. Life moves in seasons, whether we realize it or not. There are times when everything feels familiar, the people around you, your daily routines, your plans, your expectations. And in that comfort, you feel safe. You tell yourself, I am fine here, this is enough. But God knows that sometimes the place where you feel comfortable is no longer the place that will help you grow. God sees what you cannot see. He knows the future that He has written for you, and He knows the person you need to become in order to receive it. Sometimes the life you are clinging to cannot carry the blessings, the opportunities, or the responsibilities that are waiting for you. And because He loves you, He gently begins to remove what feels familiar and safe. It may feel sudden. A relationship ends, a plan falls apart. A routine that you loved becomes impossible to continue. And in that moment, your heart may resist. You may feel lost, scared, or uncertain. You may even wish that everything would go back to the way it was. But God is not taking away what you need. He is clearing the way for what you deserve. Think of it like a tree in the winter. The leaves fall, the branches appear bare, and it looks like the tree has lost everything. But this is not the end. This is the preparation for new growth. God removes what is no longer useful, what holds you back, or what has served its purpose, so that you can step into a new season filled with new opportunities, new lessons, and new blessings. Sometimes the removal feels like a loss. You may mourn what used to be. You may not understand why this change is necessary. But God is preparing your heart, your mind, and your life for the next chapter, one that cannot begin until the old chapter has ended. The discomfort, the uncertainty, the emptiness you feel are all signs that a transition is taking place. In this new season, you will discover strengths you did not know you had. You will meet people who will guide, inspire, and support you in ways the previous season could not. You will find opportunities that match your true potential, opportunities that your old comfort would have hidden from you. And most importantly, your connection with God will deepen because you are learning to trust Him through change, uncertainty, and the unknown. Every time a door closes, it is not the end of your story. It is a necessary step for the next chapter to begin. God's timing is perfect. What seems like disruption today is actually divine restructuring. What feels like chaos is the preparation for stability. What feels like emptiness is making space for fulfillment. One day, you will look back at this season and realize that the discomfort, the loss, and the change were all gifts. They were the gentle nudges that moved you forward, the clearing of the path that allowed the blessings you were meant for to reach you. God does not remove comfort to punish you. He removes it to guide you, to lift you, and to transition you into the life that aligns with your purpose. Trust the timing. Trust the process. Trust that God is moving you from where you are to where you are meant to be, and that every season, even the hard ones, is part of the journey toward your best self and your greatest future. God removes comfort because He always replaces with better in this life or the next. Sometimes it feels like life is taking too much from you. You lose a job you loved, a friend you depended on, a plan you worked for, or a dream you were holding on to. And in that moment, it feels like the world is against you. You ask yourself, why is this happening to me? Why does it feel like I'm losing everything? But God never takes without giving. He never removes without replacing. Every loss, every disappointment, every closed door is part of a greater plan that you cannot see. The comfort you think is gone forever is making space for something better, something stronger, deeper, and more aligned with your life and your future. You may not understand it now. You may feel like what you had was irreplaceable, but what God has in store for you cannot always be measured by what you've lost. Sometimes the replacement is something greater in this life, a better opportunity, a better relationship, a better chance to grow. Sometimes the replacement comes in the next life, peace, closeness to God, or a reward that no worldly loss could ever match. Imagine a cupboard that is full. You cannot place anything new in it until some old items are removed. It may feel uncomfortable when things are taken out, but once the space is cleared, the new things fit perfectly. Your life works the same way. God clears the space, removes what no longer serves your growth, and prepares your life for what you truly need. Loss can feel heavy and unfair, but it is never the end. It is always the beginning of something greater. The comfort that was taken may have been temporary or incomplete, and what God replaces it with is far more lasting, far more beautiful, and far more aligned with your purpose. Many times we cling to what we have because it is familiar, not because it is the best for us. We hold on to old routines, old relationships, and old plans, thinking they are all we can have. But God knows the bigger picture. He knows what you are capable of. He knows the blessings you are ready for. And so, He removes what no longer fits in your life, so that the better things can enter. Even when the replacement does not appear immediately, you can trust that it is coming in the right time. God is never late. He never fails. And He never gives less than what you truly need. The discomfort you feel now is only temporary. The new blessings, the growth, the peace, the opportunities, they are real, and they are coming in ways you cannot yet imagine. One day, you will look back at every closed door, every loss, every moment of discomfort, and realize that God was never taking from you in vain. He was always making room. He was always preparing your life for something better. Trust that every hardship, every removal, every ending is followed by a beginning that is brighter, stronger, and more beautiful than what you had before. And even if the replacement is not in this world, know that God's rewards in the next life are perfect, endless, and beyond what any heart can imagine. Loss is never the final word. God always replaces with better in this life or the next, and everything He gives is aligned with what your heart, mind, and soul truly need. Before we end, take a deep breath and reflect for a moment. Whatever you've been holding on to, whatever comfort you thought you couldn't live without, it is no longer in your hands. And that is not a mistake. That is not punishment. That is God's mercy working in a way your mind may not yet understand. Everything that left your life, everything that was taken, every closed door, every heartbreak, every delay, it was preparing you for a future that is bigger than your imagination. It was protecting you from harm you couldn't see. It was freeing your heart from what was holding you back. It was building the strength you need to step into your true purpose. Now, wherever you are in the world, yes, I want you to feel this right now at this exact moment, whether it's morning, afternoon, or night. God is speaking to you. He is reminding you that your loss is never the end. It is the doorway to something better, something stronger, something far more aligned with who you are meant to become. So when you walk away from this video, carry this truth with you. Your comfort being taken away is not a punishment, it is protection. Your emptiness is not a void. It is space being made for blessings beyond what you can see. Your heartbreak is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a transformation that will change your life forever. Trust the process, trust God's timing, and remember this: whatever leaves your life is always replaced with something better in this world or in the next. Look back one day and you will smile, saying, "What I thought I lost was actually what saved my future." And if you truly carry this message in your heart, your life will never feel the same again.